Hello everyone, it's Tom Smith here. I thought today I would actually go through, since this year marked 10 years of our movies, since The Price of Loyalty came out in 2008, to discuss my ranking of all the projects. There have been a total of 33 if you count the 2 seasons of The Survivor being each season being one project, the Mizzou class projects, all 11 of them, and the 3 Marshal Law films that we worked on along with Patrick Stark. There have been a total of 33 projects that Blue Diamond Filmmakers has been involved in. And today I will be ranking them. For the most part, I'm just going to post up shots of each one of the other films outside the top 10, and then I will discuss the others. So first off, I want to discuss my dishonorable mention, which I guess means it's at the very bottom, number 33. This was kind of a debate back and forth. In fact, there were 3 films. The bottom, lower than 30, 31, 32, and 33 were the ones that I really had to discuss to myself, which one do I consider the very bottom. So, number 33, The Lost Scene 2. Now, this was also competing with the one that's just above it, 32, The Price of Loyalty, our very first film, and 31, Flower, which was one of my last class projects. The Lost Scene 2 is at the bottom mainly because I know that we could have done better at that point. The Price of Loyalty should be at the bottom because it's our very first film, but I think The Lost Scene 2 ends up having the bottom score because we should have done way better with it. We should have just done better with this project. And I'm a little disappointed with it. Whenever I've watched the Lost Scene movies in release order, just to watch them as kind of a marathon, the Lost Scene 2 just sticks out compared to the others. It's kind of just like, there was that one. Doesn't really do a whole lot. The main thing I remember it for now is the fact that it kind of helped launch the Legends Cinematic Universe. So it definitely, I think, deserves the spot in 33. It doesn't mean I hate the film. Even at the very bottom, I've realized I don't hate The Lost Scene 2. I don't hate The Price of Loyalty. I don't hate Flower. I don't hate any of those. But The Price of Loyalty, of course, suffers from having just issues with just being our first film when we were just kind of learning as we went. So it's a very primitive film compared to all the others. So it definitely deserves to be on the bottom. And then Flower was just a director. It was the only project we actually did during my directing class, and we had major problems in terms of technical difficulties with wind and stuff. So it just came out as just kind of an unpleasant film to make. So I don't have a lot of fond memories of making that film because we literally just had one day to film it, only a couple hours, and then the wind hit, and it wasn't that great a project to work on. So those are my bottom dishonorable mentions. Now here's 21 through 30. So number 30, Live Today. Number 29, Calm Before the Storm. Number 28, Voyage of the Undead. Number 27, The Classic, the Cool, and the Casual. Number 26, The Good, the Bad, and the Pizza. Number 25, The Survivor Season 1. Number 24, Choices, the rough cut version. What I mean by that is just the version that's not made the Lost Scene. It's on my Vimeo channel. It's literally just the big battle scene. It originally wasn't tied in with the Lost Scene series at all. So number 23, Hard Goodbyes. Number 22, Fan Films Are Forever. I mean, it was just a documentary. It wasn't the most impressive thing I think we've ever done. Number 21, The Survivor Season 2. And now I'm going to rank numbers 20 through 12. Because then number 11 will be my honorable mention. And then we'll start doing the countdown of the top 10. Number 20, The Computer Network. Number 19, The Great Debate. Number 18, A Book by Its Cover. Number 17, One Good Deed. Number 16, The Lost Scene. Number 15, The Real Business. Number 14, Chess. Number 13, Marshal Law, Insurrection. And just barely narrowing out of being the honorable mention, Marshal Law. And then that leads us now to our honorable mention. The Shadow of Revenge. This one just got edged out barely. I have a lot of fond memories of making this. While certain aspects of it in the end became kind of unpleasant experiences and nearly broke Blue Diamond Productions, I think that's part of the reason why in the end it's not in the top 10, is because there were some moments I just wish could gone differently, and I do remember a few of those bad times. So I think in the end that's why it just gets edged out, because pretty much everything else here had good memories attached to it and were well done. So Shadow of Revenge, longest film that I have personally made. Now, while Marshal Law Reconciliation is technically longer, it was also Patrick Stark's film. So longest film the Blue Diamond solely made was Shadow of Revenge at 2 hours and 22 minutes. Still the longest James Bond fan film, and still a lot of people's favorite James Bond fan film, so I'll give it some credit for that. But it just gets edged out of this top 10 list. So here we go with my top 10. Now, these has been really ranked in my head for memories of making it, technical standpoints, and just enjoyability of the film overall. So here we go. Number 10, The Survivor War's End. The Survivor War's End, I think, is a very enjoyable follow-up to The Survivor. While technically I don't think it stands out too greatly outside of the visual effects, I think were very well done. And the filming style is an interesting one, but I think it gets a little jarring sometimes, a little shaky. And the second half of the film drags quite a bit. But the bits with the Missouri Citizens Resistance are, I think, spot on, and some of the best acting that has been done in Blue Diamond. I've always been very impressed with what happened, and very impressed with how it's been presented in the film. I have great memories of filming with all these people. These were some of the best moments we've had filming wise. People had to make up as they went their characters, and everyone did pretty much a fantastic job. So that's part of the reason why it's ranked at number 10, and I think it's a very decent follow-up to the Survivor series and ended the series very well. Number 9, Monopoly the Movie. Monopoly the Movie, I just really enjoyed filming it. Have a lot of good memories. We brought back Sean Phillips, and we had a few other new people that were brought in. We had Brendan Maley, who I filmed a little bit in Marshal Law Reconciliation with. Fantastic getting to film with him again. It was just a fun time to make, and I think it comes out very well, especially the black and white version. There is a neo-noir version that we made, but I definitely go with the final cut version that we made that was the black and white and stuff. And just making a movie based on Monopoly and just doing it in this kind of parody way, I think it was great, and I would love to have made a longer movie with it. Also, it looks fantastic because we were filming on the Ursa cameras and in 4K, so it came out looking really nice. And just getting to do all the harsh shadows and stuff was really fun. It was one of the last big projects I worked on at Mizzou, so it was fun to kind of end on a really high note with Monopoly the Movie. So, have a lot of good memories with that. Number 8, Drive You. Drive You technically isn't a Blue Diamond film. It was our internship film and technically belongs to my teacher and the head of Burnt Bridge Films, Brian Marr. However, I worked on so much of the post-credit. I worked on so much of the post-production stuff that I still kind of consider it partly mine in that regard. And I think it's a very well done film. It was one of the biggest projects in terms of technically making it that I've ever been a part of, and we had all the positions filled. You know, we were doing stuff with lights, and we had prepared this project for weeks going in. And in fact, though, it literally had been written only days before because we had problems with our previous project we were going to do because of locations. So we quickly had to scramble making this movie, and I think Brian and Michael did a great job writing the script. And then we had good actors in it, and everyone was just on point, and I think it came out very well. I really enjoyed doing the post-production work on this film. And of course, it was filmed on a Red Scarlet, which was fantastic to work with. And I think it was just one of the most professional shoots I've ever been part of, so it will always have a special place in my heart. And yeah, Otto did a great job with the music, so I'm very happy with the way it came out. Number 7, The Lost Scene 4 Choices. I'm mainly happy with this film because it's kind of what's gotten us back into filming, and I'm very excited for that. And I think it came out very well using the Choices student project that I worked on, and then making a Lost Scene movie was great. Getting to film with Patrick Stark again since 4 years had passed since we had filmed with him was fantastic, and working with Mike, I even brought my brother back in. It was just great bringing everyone in, and then also using the film and being able to tie in the entire Legends cinematic universe together and kind of world build that universe was fantastic, and I really enjoyed the way it came out, and the effects were great, and it was just a really fun time making that film. I don't think it's the strongest film we've made, but it definitely stands up there as a top-notch film, and I think it's a good sign of the things that are to come in Phase 3. Number 6, Striking. Striking was the last project I did in my field production, which was all about audio and lights. I came up with this idea that we should just incorporate the lights into the story, which is why the film is on a film set, but it also gave us a chance to just kind of show off the studio. A bunch of us all got the cameo as extras, and we really got to show what we've been doing. So it's not only a film in which we can say, you know, here's what we've learned, but it's also a chance for us to have, hey, this is how we did all this. This is what we learned how to do. Showing all the lights and the sound equipment and just how it all works. So it gave us a chance to kind of make a very special film at the end of the semester. So it was once again another big crew, big team, and it was great to be a part of and work on that. While we didn't win any awards at the film festival we submitted it into, I think it came off pretty strong, and it was a very enjoyable film to work on, and definitely one of our best student projects I think I ever had a hand in working on. Now here we are in the top 5. Number 5, What You Leave Behind. This one has some fantastic memories. It was just a quick weekend shoot because we had the red MX1 camera for only a weekend. So we literally had to film Friday, Saturday, Sunday, get it done, and then hand it over back to Brian. But what we made was really special. While originally Micah was going to play the lead role, Tyler Malloy knocked it out. Tyler and Dakota Thompson and Steve Hudson really knocked this one out. Well, yeah, there are a few challenges I wish we had changed, like especially with the guns, maybe gone with something a little more brutal, like baseball bats and stuff, but we didn't have a lot of time. Plus, I wanted to be able to do good effects on filming on 4K and then have some really good effects with it, so I really wanted to do something with guns, even though it didn't quite fit the story probably in terms of the way it should have been done. But then there was also the fact that I got my really good friend Jake Riley in the film. And not only that, he had to step up to the plate and play the lead villain when our actor dropped out. Originally he was just going to be the main henchman who gets killed by the father. But nope, he had to play the lead villain, and I think he did it very well, and it was just an enjoyable 3 days of filming, and I think we got some really good acting out of it, and of course it looks fantastic in 4K. So I will always have great memories of working with this camera and working on this film. So definitely one of our best. Number 4, The Lost Scene 3 Covert Operations. This, once again, a very fun film to work on. We had some very good shots. The cinematography was on. We had some great actors. We introduced a few people that were in other projects, like Katie Hoy. And it was just a big step up from the other previous Lost Scene movies. And I think it definitely is one of the best films we've ever made. I enjoy watching this film. Even though it had issues with just having not as great a camera, I really wish it could have been filmed with the DSLR, which I wouldn't get for another 2 years, but it was one of the first movies we made with the audio recorder. So the sound had just jumped straight up from the way it had been like in the Computer Network, which really knocked that film down on my list because of the audio problems. This film got to use the audio, and it sounds fantastic, and with a couple of exceptions of a few problems we had making it, I think it's definitely one of our best films. And the sneaking scene where me and Sean snuck around, I think, is a highlight of the film and really enjoyable, and the final fight scene was really fun, and Sean really knocked it out with the visual effects in that film. So once again, very solid film, and The Lost Scene 5 and 6 have a very tall order to beat it as the best Lost Scene movies. Number 3, Reflection of the Soul. Our third Bond movie. This was really the culmination of everything that had come before in Phase 1. This was all of it. This is Phase 1 in a nutshell, right here. This was everything that we had done in Phase 1 built up to this film, and I think it came out very strongly. We had a very good cast, and Otto did a fantastic job with the score. We had a lot of pleasant memories of making it. We had a lot of fun. It just came out really great. I think, once again, it was just another one of those. The only problem really with it was the fact that we didn't have a better camera to film it with. Because we were just shy of when we actually got the better camera. At this point, we would get a better camera a little less than a year after it came out. But other than that, I mean, it came out, the sound was good, the music, as I said, the action scenes I think were fun. It really was the best we could do at that point. And I knew if we could continue onwards making movies, we would have quite a solid thing going on after Reflection of the Soul. It marked the end of filming with Sean, which was a shame, but it was really fun to get to film with him one more time making that movie, and I think it really does stand as one of the best James Bond fan films ever made, and I'm still very proud of it. And I think Death is Forever is gonna, like I said with the Lost Scene movies, Death is Forever has a very tall order in which to beat Reflection of the Soul out as our best James Bond movie. Number 2, Marshal Law Reconciliation. What can I say about this film? I nearly put it at the very top. I was very tempted to make this number 1 because this film has everything. It's shot really well. It has fantastic music. A lot of fantastic, great memories. Friendships were built from this movie. We had a fantastic cast, fantastic performances, good visual effects, great locations, and just so many good memories. I think the memories is one of the things that really pushes up near the top, and it also just looks beautiful. It's some great shots and cinematography, and just the costumes, the props, and everything. If Rough Justice can beat this film, that will be very impressive. And I think Marshal Law Reconciliation definitely deserves to be in this spot as one of our best films we've ever had part in working on. And just everything that we did with that film, people were so excited to finally see it because everyone had been part of it, just knew it was going to be a fantastic film. So when we finally got it finished and got to show it, I was so happy with the end result. So Marshal Law Reconciliation, Rough Justice is going to have a tough time competing with this film as the spin-off movie. Number 1, The Pain of Regret. Now, a lot of you probably knew this was coming because you've heard me praise this film before, but I absolutely love this film. It is kind of sad that this is my favorite film, considering this was done almost 5 years ago. This was done 4 years ago. Around this time, I finished it and posted it out. The original class version, which is still on Vimeo. So it's been 4 years since this film. But I still hold it as one of my absolute favorite. It has some of my absolute favorite shots. It was fun getting to film with Patrick and Louisa a little bit before they left. And Micah was even in there, which was great. And was one of the very first projects I was not actually appeared in at all. There is a photo of me you can kind of see in one of the shots. But other than that, I did not appear in this film at all, so it was great to just kind of be in the director's chair and just direct the film. And winning the awards for it was fantastic, and just the way the shots were, and just listening to people still talk about it in the MU Film Production Club, 2 or 3 years after it came out, people were still talking about The Pain of Regret. Just made me realize just how much of a special film I had made, and just making the ending very ambiguous to you make your own interpretation of how it ends. Does he shoot her? Does he not? And I will never say what my version of what I think happened, because I don't want anyone to have a definitive version. I want you to make up your own mind on what you think happened at the end. And I like that people just have to decide for themselves. So I definitely think this is our best film. Our projects coming up in 2019 and 2020 have a very, very tall order to beat this film because of how well it was done. It was also great just trying to do a film with no dialogue whatsoever in the entire film. Just relying on the music, and Otto does a fantastic job with the score. And it just came out perfectly, and it was a great class project. I worked on it by myself. It was our solo project, and just getting together with the people I did, fantastic memories making it. Filmed in only 2 days, literally a Saturday, Sunday weekend, and I think it definitely stands as our best film. Now, once again, this is only my opinion. I would love to hear in the comments what maybe your top 10 are, or if you even want to do a whole list of all and rank all 33, that wouldn't be fine as well. But I'd be very interested to hear what your favorite project that we've done are, and also what project remaining of our 5 remaining projects you'd like to see the most. So thank you for listening to this very interesting top 10 list, and I'd love to hear your opinions, and then we will see you all in the next video. Take care.